the politics of it. Joining me is Karan Verma, who's an author. Tehseen Poonawalla is a political analyst. Kishore Subramanyam is a financial expert. And Sanjay Hegde is a senior lawyer. He's the one I'm going to ask that question I was proposing to our viewers this evening. First things first, Karan Verma, can I ask you this? The Supreme Court of India very clearly, unequivocally, calls the electoral bond scheme unconstitutional. Was it right for the Prime Minister to defend it in the way that he has defended it? If the Supreme Court has already junked it, saying that it violated the right of the voter to know.
You know, Shreya, Justice J.S. Verma once said that Supreme Court is supreme but not infallible. And here, it's not even regarding a judgment, it's regarding what the Prime Minister thinks, which is in the executive domain. The Prime Minister thinks that this policy, the electoral bond policy, was much better than what we had previously. And data suggests that. The Supreme Court hasn't given us an alternative. It's just said that this is unconstitutional. Let's not forget, this came through as a recommendation of the Law Commission. And after that, what we saw in 2013-14, let me take you back then. 85% of the donations that used to come to the Congress party, for example, were from unknown sources. So this was a much better version of what we had then. At least we had it through the banking channels. We had it within the formal economy setup. So I think that's much better than what we had. Of course, improvements are welcome on it. But I still feel that, you know, we have to better this rather than scrapping it all together. So I still believe that the Prime Minister hit the right chord in the sense that this was an improvement. At least now we know where the money came from, where it went. Minor additions can be made, such as capping up the corporate funding. I mean, earlier it was capped to 7.5%. Those suggestions are welcome. But you cannot completely scrap the system. What are you encouraging then? You are encouraging Hawala rerouting. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Karan, you are saying that at least now we know, and the Prime Minister is also saying that at least now we know where the money came from. But now we know where the money came from only because the Supreme Court didn't give the State Bank of India and the government a choice. It's because of the Supreme Court of India that we know where the money came from. Otherwise, we would have not known where the money came from and how much came and to whom it was given and when it was given.
You're absolutely right. And even when this policy came about, I had a mixed opinion on this. I was of the view that yes, citizens have the right to know. But at the same time, there is a right to privacy. We know how in our great country, political parties demonize corporations. We saw what happened with Adani. They were ostracized merely on the basis of a foreign report, the Hindenburg report. So, you know, in a politically volatile atmosphere as exists in our country, there's a very good chance that when such information is made public, those companies are ostracized. And that is precisely what's happening. Now, every company that ever donated something, every project that they've bagged is being looked through a prism of uncertainty, as if they never had the capability to bag those projects in the first place. So, this is something where we are evolving. You know, suggestions are welcome, but scrapping this all together, I just don't buy that. I think it was a much bigger improvement than what we had over the last 5 decades under the Congress.